All right, my name's Max Makins, and this is my Chapter 2 article presentation. So my article title is Why NASA Wants to Return the Moon Before Sending Humans to Mars. And I chose this article for two reasons. One, because it's topical and it's in the news and it's pretty interesting. And number two, for why it relates to Chapter 2 of our class. And it relates to Chapter 2 because it goes on asking and answering the question of maybe why go to space or why not go to space. And it discusses putting humans back on the moon and why it's important to do so before heading to Mars. And it kind of also gets into maybe what is in outer space and why we need to spend some more time trying to figure that out. So a little bit of background, the main focus of this article is to explain the reasoning for the Artemis missions. And, and as it stands, the first few Artemis missions that are kind of outlined are 1, 2, and 3. And the first one is the unmanned test flight around the moon and back. And it's originally scheduled for the 29th of August, so just a little bit ago, but it's been delayed till likely the end of September or even a later date. Artemis 2 is the manned flight to the moon and back, but we'll be sending those aboard further into space than humanity ever has gone. And that's scheduled for 2024. And then Artemis 3 is actually landing on the moon with the first woman and first person of color, and that's scheduled for 2025. And there are more missions, but they have yet to be kind of defined yet. So starting with the summary, the article focuses on the reason for not traveling straight to Mars and rather heading back to the moon. And space is a hostile environment. And if we want to explore the true depths of it, we have to prepare ourselves. And further investigation of the moon will allow us to gain that knowledge that's needed to succeed in future space exploration. The article cites Bill Nelson, a NASA administrator, saying the following: how do you keep humans alive in those hostile conditions? And we're going to learn how to use the resources on the moon in order to be able to build things in the future as we go. Not 250,000 miles away, not a 3-day journey, but millions and millions of miles away on a months and months, if not years long journey. So it's a good look into how NASA themselves are kind of approaching this project. NASA looks to use the moon as almost a test zone where new technology can be tried and improved and developed, which this reduces the risk of human life and possibly lost research when we make the longer, more dangerous journey to Mars. Also mentioned is NASA's plan to set up an orbiting lunar outpost. Scientists want to use what they can learn on the lunar surface to find how we get humans to Mars safely and within the Obama administration's goal of 2033, which NASA is still trying to stick to. Some of the technology needing testing includes the Space Launch System rocket and the Orion spacecraft, both of which, including the Orion's heat shield, will be attempting their first flight. Protective gear and radiation detection equipment will also be put to the test. Additional data will be collected from various experiments and demonstrations completed during the flight. These will occur both inside the spacecraft as well as outside with the use of satellites that will be flying right alongside called CubeSats. And the goal of this data is to find out what kind of space environments future astronauts might face and kind of figure out what else is out there that we don't know yet. In the article, the moon is described as a repository of celestial information that can help humans better make sense of both space and our solar system's evolution. Previous missions to the moon, the last of which was almost 50 years ago, were completed at the moon's equator. According to this article, the Artemis 3 missions will take place in the South Pole. And as of now, the South Pole is an unexplored region of the moon. The main message of the article was best communicated, in my opinion, through a quote by NASA astronaut Reed Wiseman. We're trying to make life better on Earth, and we're trying to expand humanity into our solar system. So that little sentence right there kind of sums up all of what I just talked about, and kind of gives you a good view as to the point of all of these missions in general, and not just going to the moon first, but kind of the project as a whole. And that's it.